Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're still here at the Toyota booth because guess what? I have more GR specialness to share with you. And what are we talking about? We're talking about this car right here. This is a 2025 Toyota Supra, but as you could see, this is not your standard Supra. This is being called the Supra-BIRD. But before I get into this modified Supra, let's talk about what's going on here. So if you watch NASCAR, you would know that there is an announcer, a TV personality by the name of Rutledge Wood. He and Toyota have a great relationship. Over the years, he's been that spokesperson for the brand. He also loves racing and racing history. And of course, nobody has done it better on any stock car circuit more so than Richard Petty. Richard Petty, the reason why he's called the king is that he has 7 NASCAR championships. And one of the brands that he always stuck with was not Toyota. He actually never raced for Toyota. It was all about Mopar, Dodge, Plymouth, Chrysler. Now what's fascinating with this Supra-BIRD is that they've taken some of the heritage of his 1970 Supra-BIRD, get it? Supra-BIRD, Supra-BIRD. And what Rutledge Wood wanted to do was he wanted to honor King Richard Petty, but also, could it be possible that maybe this might turn into a production version? Maybe not with all the stickers and graphics, but this new blue color is becoming more and more popular, that grabber blue style color, and it's got some really amazing aesthetic exterior mods to it. So let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out, is this the best modded Supra? And should Toyota build it? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, this color is called Petty Blue, and that is synonymous. When you look at Richard Petty's racing history, it was always, his cars were always this baby blue color, and usually he was sponsored by STP Oils. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna see all of the things that are stock Supra. So we have a full stock headlight housing, full LED daytime running lamps. One thing I gotta give Rutledge Wood a zonk on is that he kept the fake vents. Come on, Rutledge, let's get rid of this. The king would be unhappy about that, but you'll notice the massive fender flares that we have. Not only does it help give it an extra aggressive look, but wait until you see the wheels and tires that are hiding underneath them. And then on this lower portion, we have this beautiful carbon fiber splitter. Most of it is bare carbon fiber. The rest of it has that Petty blue all the way across that lower edge. And it really is that lower edge that gives it that Supra-BIRD style to it. Now, the way they did the Toyota badge with the blue, you do have your full functionality in the center and then that flat black along with that splitter. And what's great about the splitter is that it's fully functional. And the whole point about a splitter is to stop air from going underneath the vehicle, because that's gonna create lift, especially on an oval like Talladega or Daytona, which are considered super speedways. You don't want air getting underneath the vehicle and creating lift. And it's crazy that back in 1970, they really didn't have a lot of crazy aero, although it is the 1970 Supra-BIRD that was so dominant with that very aerodynamic front end that looked like a beak, and of course a big huge wing, which, wait until we get to the tail end of the business, you'll see on this Supra. Now as we rise up, that blue finish, I love the way they place the Supra badges on the hood. But once again, Rutledge, I'm gonna have to drop a zonk on you. Those non-functional heat extractors. Would have been nice to have some functionality out of all these fake vents. Now, as we swing wide around the fender flares, check out our HRE 2-piece forged aluminum wheels. Love the dark blue, just like on Richard Petty's cars. You're still gonna get your nice beefy brake system from your standard Toyota Supra. And then I love the heritage connection with the Continental paint that they did with the lettering on the tire. It gives it a nice, like I said, a nice kind of NASCAR stock car look. Now, if you're wondering what's the size of this wheel, this is a 19-inch wheel in diameter. I love how deep that wheel goes. And then, of course, when you're looking at overall widths, that width is gonna go nice and wide, all four corners. And that's where I think with Rutledge putting these fender flares, like I said, it gives it a great style, but it also gives you that extra grip that you would want when you're at speed. Now, when you come down the side of the vehicle, I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and just show the beautiful artistry with the addition of those side fender flares, how it comes into that fender portion. And then up top, we got the famous number 43. That was always Richard Petty's number 43. Of course, Rutledge had to put his name on it because this is his build with the 43 number on the back. And then as we work towards the rear, what you're gonna find is you're gonna have that extra width. So we still have a 19-inch wheel out back, but now you're looking at extra wide rear tires, limited slip diff, and this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, which remember the 1970 dominating Supra-BIRD was rear-wheel drive. Swinging around, you see the fender flare, how they cut out for the fuel door. Look at the way they cut that out, just so that you can fuel up. And then as you're swinging around back, I'm digging this rear spoiler. Not as tall as the original 1970 Supra-BIRD by any means, but still, I think accentuates the back of the vehicle. And what I like about this wing, it looks very similar to what Toyota was running on their Supras that were racing in the Japanese series, the Super GT series, back in the early and mid 1990s. It really has that great style. Now, stock LED taillights, and then of course the GR badge, and then working our way down to ground level, of course we have to have a nice custom catback exhaust with the carbon fiber exterior slash cut, make that 3-liter straight 6 turbocharged engine sing. And remember, underneath the hood, in stock form, we have a 3-liter straight 6 turbocharged engine, 382 horsepower. You can get it in an automatic or a 6-speed manual, which you know which transmission I'm picking. I'm going manual, 0 to 60 in about 3.7 seconds. But why don't we go ahead, let's get inside and talk about if there's anything changed with this Supra-BIRD. All right, guys, we are inside this special Toyota Supra-BIRD, personally designed by Rutledge Wood. You know, it's interesting because there's lots of different ways. I think that's one of the things I love about the Mark V Supra, just like previous generations, many different ways to customize your particular Supra. And nice to see Rutledge Wood kind of throw that respect to Richard Petty and that 1970 winning Supra-BIRD. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, what would be the cost of something like this? Obviously, you got to start with a stock Supra. 3.0 premium is going to run you right around MSRP of $53,000. This one with the mods obviously is going to have a little bit higher MSRP, but let's see what the interior brings in this Supra-BIRD. To the door panels, what you're going to find is your stock standard door panel. You do have the JBL sound system. You do have some metallic black around the switchgear. The sad news is, where's the Petty blue on the interior? Would have been nice to have some blue stitching right on that armrest. And then the door pocket is very tight, maybe just one Coney dog, and that's about it. Going from the door panel to the dash, that's where the stitching would have been great. Maybe a Supra-BIRD plate. These are all zonks that are adding up. You do have your 8.8-inch infotainment system. Can't turn it on because we're here in the show. And then working your way down, Rutledge Wood didn't do it the way that I would have done it. He went with the 8-speed automatic. I would have went with a 6-speed manual. But I do love all the carbon fiber they bring. And then, of course, the seats. Spectacular, but they should have done something with the seats. They're great seats. But where's my Petty blue? That would have been a nice touch. There's like a weird bug in here, but that maybe that's like the Supra-BIRD is the bug. But why don't you come over here at the business end? Is there anything different? Let's find out. All right, guys, we're inside this Petty blue business side of things. Toyota Supra. They definitely need to add this color to the color palette. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. Of course, the car is sitting on some lowering springs and some coilovers to give it that perfect NASCAR stance, if there is such a thing. You do have your, of course, aluminum sill plate. Would have been nice to see some customization there. The Supra, it's interesting because getting in and out for some people is difficult, but once you're in like Flynn and you're ready to rock and roll. Of course, Steering wheel, not my favorite. Gotta honk the horn button. I wish he would have done something differently here. You do have your paddles to go up and down the ZF 8-speed automatic. And then you do have your digital gauge cluster, which I can't show you because we're inside the convention center. But boy, oh boy, do I want to take this for a spin, especially at Daytona. I would love to do the high banks at Daytona in this Supra-BIRD. But until I can arrange it, let's go ahead and wrap it up from SEMA. All right, guys, always a good time here at the Toyota booth at SEMA, no matter what year it is. But let me know what you think in the comment section about Rutledge Wood's interpretation of this Supra-BIRD to honor Richard Petty and that 1970 Supra-BIRD. But we got to thank the whole Toyota USA team for having us here in Las Vegas. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Got to give it up to the Flood man, Stephen Flood, working that camera like the champion he is. Thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.